Warning: the stunts in this movie were performed by professionals, so for your safety and the protection of those around you, do not attempt any of the stunts you're about to see.
Boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, welcome to your favorite installment, Hood Eats, episode number 3. Today, for the first time ever, we're heading down to the south side for the series. We've already done the west side, did some of the northwest side, but we are heading down to the deep south side right now. We are heading to the Grand Crossing neighborhood. Now, how it stacks up against the rest of the neighborhoods? Not that much, but it has such a tiny population. There's only 30,000 people living in the neighborhood. Compare that to some of these neighborhoods that have 100,000 plus people living in them. That's not that much. So for this neighborhood to even be on the top 10 is pretty crazy. It's only got 30,000 people in it, and it's number 9. But it is home to the city's worst and most violent block, O Block, off of King Drive here. I think it's like 67th and King or something like that. It's one of the only mega projects. I wouldn't consider it a mega project, but it's one of the only housing projects that are fairly substantial size left here in the city. So a lot of the violence in this neighborhood centralizes around pretty much a block by block area, maybe block and a half by block area, called O Block. And it's actually, fun fact, the home of Michelle Obama. She grew up in O Block. And here we are crossing in the Grand Crossing, 61st Street. It's in between 61st and 79th, pretty much all centralizing around King Drive. Woo! Do a little bit of wheelies, start off this vlog. I've been kind of forgetting of the wheelies the more and more we do the Hood Eats. So here we are under the tracks, and this is it. We're about to hit O Block right here, which is kind of the hub of the neighborhood, but it is centralized around these housing projects right here. They're pretty secure now, so it's kind of hard to get in and out of them unless you are actually a resident, but lots of drug dealing in the past have come out of these housing projects. And just to give you a sense of the violence, like in this one block area, I mean from that light to this light right here, 19 shootings last year. So there was 110 shootings in the neighborhood, but 19 in just a block area. And you know, that's a quarter of the shootings in your neighborhood. A little under a quarter of the shootings in your neighborhood is a block by block area. That probably tells you a lot of the violence is stemming from around those housing projects. Now, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Chicago had realized that mega projects like Cabrini Green, Ida B. Wells, the Taylor homes, they're not a good idea. They were a hub of violence. The statistics did not lie. Yeah, straight. The statistics did not lie that the most amount of violence came out of these mega projects where you just put impoverished people on top of impoverished people. You didn't really spread them out throughout the community and give them positive influences. So the mega projects were all pretty much torn down, besides I think the Loudon homes down in Roseland, O Block there in Grand Crossing, and there's still one or two on the west side in North Lawndale and East Garfield Park as well. There's some projects, but none really as big as O Block. Today, let's talk about Hood Eats. Man, we're down here on 69th right now. We're going to 71st for Sunny Sub. Really highly recommended place by you guys, and I'm looking forward to it. I think somebody said get the cheesesteak or something like that, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of in the heart of Grand Crossing as well, so I don't know. I think that sounds pretty good, a cheesesteak. Who is that guy right there? If you know that guy, drop it down in the comments. Here we are. I think this is it, isn't it? Sunny Sub? I think that's it. Sunny Sub. You want to rev it? Come rev this thing. Come rev that. Woo! It's hot. Kids are like, what the hell am I seeing? We don't really ride this far down south a lot, down in the Grand Crossing area, so. Supposedly one of the best cheesesteaks in the whole city. That's what people are saying. If I miss some, it's just the statistics for the neighborhood, didn't I? I did. 110 people were shot in Grand Crossing in 2008. 95 were wounded and 15 killed. So a little bit of the background in the neighborhood, and it's only got 30,000 people population, and that's just 1 year, so gives you a little bit of background. Yeah? They fuck with you on the dirt bikes?
Took a four-wheeler from it. I just got out of jail for that shit. I had to bail out for $1,500 for that shit.
Oh, jeez. Huh? Can you ride with me? You can ride with him. I don't got a back seat. Yeah, I don't got a back seat. Man, we can't even see the people we're ordering from. You guys are known for your cheesesteak, right? Yeah, could I have a cheesesteak with a strawberry? It was $7? $7 a piece? Check out this menu. Yeah, I can't even see the guy. This place is no joke, Papa. Alright, I'm gonna get to eating. This is one of the best cheesesteaks I've ever had, man. They're good.
I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
Yeah, they are. I give it like a 9 out of 10, man. This is fire. So guys, we just left Sunny Salt there. Oh my God, was that a good cheesesteak? That was probably one of the best cheesesteaks I've ever had in my life, and yeah, I am a big fan of them. So if you guys are down on 71st and Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, definitely check it out. Definitely a great place to eat. Oh, I totally forgot to tell you how the neighborhood got its name, Grand Crossing. So back, you know, in the 1900s when Chicago was just starting to expand, this was the pretty much the hub of the trains to and from downtown, some of the freight liners to the stockyards, everything like that. And there was a huge intersection of, like, you know, 5, 6, 7 railroad tracks that all crossed each other right there on, I think, 68th, right by where O-Block was built. And that's how it got the name Grand Crossing, because there were so many railroad crossings. We're actually heading into one of the neighborhoods that that I'm definitely going to do a food review in really soon. To some people, it's a name synonymous with Chicago. To others, it might not mean anything, but this is the Englewood neighborhood on the far south side. Lots of good restaurants down here. I've gotten a couple suggestions already on where to come, so I will be down here in the near future. So don't worry. Suggestions down in the comments of where I should go next, what you want to see me do next, what neighborhood I should go, what's some of the best food, that's local if you are local here, because as of right now, Hood Eats is exclusively Chicago only. Look at that scenery. Woo! Crossing over 9094, turning here on 63rd. Heading to South Englewood. Y'all like that, huh? Oh yeah. I'll take you through some of the neighborhood streets over here. As far as highlighting Grand Crossing, it's kind of hard because, like I said, most of the neighborhood revolves around the project. The project is secure. The neighborhood itself is pretty tiny. So there's a couple surrounding neighborhoods that are kind of infamously crappy neighborhoods as well. Auburn Gresham, Chatham, Englewood. A lot of these surrounding neighborhoods are just as bad as Grand Crossing. So now, as far as rundown neighborhoods really go, maybe not the most violent, but this is the most rundown neighborhood in Chicago, is Englewood. It's not uncommon. Of course, most of the homes are boarded up, but to have entire city blocks just look like a forest preserve, just because all the homes have been burned, torn down, whatever. So huge empty lots is a pretty common sight here in Englewood, unfortunately. Money hasn't been invested in this community since, you know, the Great Depression, so it just is what it is. This neighborhood has kind of gone down. I mean, look at that. This is a whole city block, sidewalks and everything, and you have one house on the whole block. So it's pretty sad to see a neighborhood like this in such a rich and prosperous city like Chicago. So definitely a forgotten one, and the population has only since gone down over the recent years. Chicago kind of claims that it's won its war with violence on the south side, when in reality it's just had a mass exodus, you know, so many people leaving to go to the south suburbs and other places. But this was at one time all homes, and there's still 1-2 home in the remnants of everything. Look at this, city streetlights in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of like Chicago's Detroit. There's one house still. Oh my God. Jumping speed bumps, whoa, jeez, look at the little kids, they're like, whoa, catching air. So guys, I'm gonna get out of here. We're actually entering into the back of the yards up here as soon as we cross over Garfield. So once again, another neighborhood, another time. I've got so much to do. This is officially the Grand Crossing moto vlog. However, kind of flowed into Englewood just because of what a small neighborhood it is. So I'm gonna get out of here. My GoPro's probably gonna die soon. Like as always, if you like the video, please do like, please do subscribe, share it with your friends. And if you're a native of Chicago, consider coming supporting some of these local businesses. It would mean a lot to me, and it would mean a whole lot more to the community. So this is Brian626 signing out. Peace. Love y'all.